never did a lead-in while I was getting a massage. But even before soundtracks, music was an important part of the movie experience. Easy down there. We always had that piano player down front. Remember that? Well, today a movie's success depends heavily on the right music, and our man in Hollywood, Jim Brown, this morning profiles one of the most successful of Hollywood's music men. Jim?
This is becoming a rare scene in Hollywood these days.
Pretty good for a first go at it. Want to take 10?
Many contemporary film composers have opted for the less costly, high-tech versatility of synthesizers. Synthesizers that can mimic the sound of a large studio orchestra. But as veteran composer Jerry Goldsmith sees it, there is a way for the old and the new to coexist.
I've been fascinated with electronics for 25 years. But as an adjunct to the orchestra, to me, it's an additional color on my palette. I mean, there are many things that over the years I've heard, sounds and colors that I've heard in my mind, and it's been very difficult to try and translate that into acoustical instruments. And I guess I was thinking really in that spectrum of electronic sound. I think that a composer to use electronics should understand what they can do. I have these instruments here because when I write for them, I want to know what the sounds are, whether I make them or they come with the instrument. I want to know what it's going to sound like. So many times composers will just write down synthesizer, and then they will get to the recording session and say, oh, well, give me a sound like something weird or something. Well, that's a little strange. You have to have the idea in your head, at least I do.
They're mutating.
Great.
Goldsmith's electronic ideas have been put to use in several of his recent movie assignments. What was the very first film score?
The very first film score was a picture called Black Patch, which was a Western that George Montgomery starred in and produced. And I was very thrilled to do it.
At the time of Black Patch, what was Jerry Goldsmith doing?
I was under contract to CBS Television. I was under contract to CBS from 1952 to 1960. And I was doing Playhouse 90 and Climax and an episode of Gunsmoke, an episode of Twilight, so whatever they had for me. I mean, that was wonderful. I was getting $175 a week and doing 3 shows a week. But it was a great, great, great training. I learned so much more there than I did in school.
Goldsmith's experience in early television and his keen sense for dramatic scoring make him one of the most sought-after film composers in Hollywood. What is the Goldsmith style?
I think a certain rhythmic diversity, a certain harmonic structure. I think that perhaps stylistically it's the way I approach a film dramatically, which really is a step above about musical style. I do a lot of films, a lot of very diverse subjects, and I love what I do, and it's a constant challenge.
Goldsmith has just completed the score for the spy thriller The Russia House, a movie that called on his jazz capabilities. Saxophonist Branford Marsalis is the featured artist on the soundtrack.
It's exciting to come up with something new and different. And maybe it's just my own desire not to take shortcuts, but to try and, stretch the imagination.
The Russia House, with music by Jerry Goldsmith and starring Sean Connery and Michelle Pfeiffer, is set for a Christmas release. For today, Jim Brown, NBC News, Hollywood.
And we're back in a moment after this.